our Masters of Spin this morning, Australia's clash of cultures and how it can be fixed. As we've been reporting this morning, the RSL in Western Australia has voted to ban the Aboriginal flag and the performance of Welcome to Country on Anzac and Remembrance Days.
That's in response to anger last year over the Ode of Remembrance being recited in an Indigenous language. Then tonight, the Australian Rugby League hosts an Indigenous All-Stars match where neither the Australian nor the New Zealand national anthems will be played out of respect for Aboriginal sensitivities. Our Masters of Spin are here to discuss. Advertising and marketing experts Matthew Bywater and Adam Ferrier. Matthew, good morning. Just the term ban is enough to set up conflict, but banning flags, ceremonies and anthems, does Australia need a campaign? Another campaign to heal our cultural wounds.
Yeah, we do, and we've got to get something to bring everybody together. And one of the struggles we have here is that it becomes a slinging match at times and pushes people into corners and gets people to get more aggressive and more assertive about points that need to be softened off and try and find some common ground to work with together.
OK, so Adam, what type of campaign do you see is needed to move beyond these kind of issues which are just it's so divisive?
It's a tough one. I think what we need to do is measure our level of inclusivity in Australia and having some kind of inclusivity index that would take as seriously as something like the GDP, and then we need to start measuring it and kind of doing government initiatives that kind of support that. There is an organisation called Inclusive Australia who is trying to address this, but it needs a bit of money, it needs a bit of backing from the government.
Yeah, because Adam, it can't just be, running some kind of ad campaign and think that that's going to work. This actually has to work between people.
That's right, and it has to work with all these different individual organisations who have kind of got a mission to be inclusive with various agendas. Yeah. They all need to come together and then, as you say, start to work in between people and change culture. It's a massive program. The government needs to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Well, to a much lighter topic, if you're eating breakfast as well, you might want to look away for just a moment because while this ad is clever, it's also, well, it's a little gross. Burger King in the US, known as Hungry Jack's here, has used time-lapse photography to prove there are no preservatives in its food. For 34 days, it let a Whopper deteriorate and the results aren't pleasant. Matthew, do you think this unappealing ad will actually do what it's designed to do, I think, and that's sell burgers?
Well, it's interesting. I don't, when I first saw this, I thought, what are they doing? Because once you put that image in your mind, can you actually erase it?
I'm just craving one now.
Yeah. But one of the things it will do, it's going to get them a lot of cut through them. This is getting played around the world. And for them, what they're trying to do, and you've got to get the concept, they're trying to get people to talk about their burgers are now not going to have preservatives, which is a bit of a shame that they always did. But they're trying to get that message across. So it's going to be interesting to see how it rolls out. Because,
of course, we've seen, time and time again, people keeping Big Macs for decades and saying, how revolting they are. Because they stay as they are. No, decades. Google it.
We actually presented this exact idea to a local burger chain a couple of years ago, and they loved it, but weren't brave enough to do it. There's a lot of bravery in this for all the reasons that Matthew's pointed out, but I love it. It gets people talking. Fantastic.
Yep, I love it too. Good stuff.
And finally, the campaign in Sweden to get kids to like going to the opera. Children are given a choice. They can get a free ticket to see a show, or they have to eat broccoli. Adam, it turns out kids hate broccoli more than going to the opera.
Not all kids.
Well, apparently. A clever piece of marketing or not?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It reminds me of a joke of what's the difference between a booger and broccoli. You just can't get kids to eat broccoli. I love this campaign. It's so clever, and giving kids an alternative between two things makes them do something. So there's a good insight there.
Yes, this would work with half of my kids, not the other half.
They like broccoli, do they?
Yeah, my 4-year-old loves it. Makes a 7-year-old vomit. So go figure. Maddie, Adam, great to see you both. Thank you.
Good on you.
All right, more now on the RSL clubs in Western Australia taking the controversial step we just talked about of banning the Aboriginal flag and Indigenous ceremonies on Anzac Day and Remembrance Day. They've taken